We are following developing news across Texas. Governor Abbott has issued a statewide disaster declaration due to the threat of the New World Screwworm. Just minutes ago, he signed a new authorization for the state government to respond, and the new emergency order is tasking all university systems and state agencies with speeding up construction of a new sterile fly production facility in Edinburgh. That facility is already under construction, and when it is finished, it'll allow scientists to breed special flies intended to halt the spread of the screwworm. The governor wants ranchers and farmers to check their animals daily, treat any open wounds as quickly as possible, and report any suspected infection immediately to the Texas Animal Health Commission. Anyone can report. You do not have to be a vet or a technician. If you do suspect an infection, do not move the animal. The same goes for any game animals that you suspect may be infected, like deer or feral hogs.
Texas is resilient. Our producers, veterinarians, and state officials are among the very best in the United States. It is critical for them and for our fellow Texans to stay vigilant and informed. We have, in the past, prevented as well as eradicated this pest, and we can do it again.
The governor's briefing is still underway at the Emergency Operations Center in Austin. We will have more updates on air and online throughout the afternoon.